Okay. You recently released the song No Thanks.
Yeah.
I like it a lot.
Good, I'm glad.
What do you think is the best track you have created so far?
I think each of our tracks kind of like serve a specific purpose, in kind of like creating something evocative. So in terms of kind of like best or kind of like worst, I think that's quite a difficult conversation. I mean, personally for me, tracks that I really enjoy playing live is like Halloween is a big one. Yeah, Halloween is a big one. No Thanks is a little bit simpler in terms of its structure, in terms of its kind of like the music behind it, which actually I'm finding quite challenging. You know, it's like 3 chords, and I'm finding that quite challenging, which is fun.
Why is a challenge for the band or for you as a singer?
For me as a singer and a guitarist, I'm kind of like I'm used to I don't know, maybe thinking faster, like and No Thanks has like a real kind of like quite a rhythm to it, which I'm not super used to. It was quite like a new kind of like writing style for us, and it's just taken a little bit of like acclimatization to that track. I really enjoy playing it live, but it is very different in its composition to a lot of the other stuff that we do. But yeah, I'm finding that challenge really fun. Like I'm not one to shy away from that, I think. Yeah.
How do you play it in a live, this song?
Have we played it?
Yeah. During how many live shows do you have it during this time?
Well, we just came off of a tour in the UK with supporting a band called Vukovi, and we knew that the track was going to come out during that tour, so we played it every night basically. So it was a nice little kind of like nice little surprise for people, because it came out halfway through on the day of our London show, which is like our hometown. So that was really good. And I had like this white crop top that I made before we went out, which I just painted No Thanks on. So no one really knew what that meant until the day that it got released, which was fun.
Okay.
Which is a nice little
Okay.
So we've done about kind of like 13 shows of playing No Thanks.
15 shows. Okay.
Yeah.
In 2021, you released several singles. Do you feel comfortable with the single format?
In what respect do you think?
Because you have released 1 EP or 2 EPs, but not a long play, not an album.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, sure. Well, I think an album has it's almost like releasing an album is like a confidence thing, you know? I mean, that's a real statement of intent. That's like your first long play mark on your career. And we haven't been going for a very long time, so we're getting there and we're building up to it. The single format, I think, is fine. I think the way that people consume music now does kind of put a lot of pressure on and kind of perpetuates this single format, which isn't something that we're really bothered by. But I think personally for me and for this band, EPs and albums and having like cohesive bodies of work are really important. I think like having common themes, having concepts that like tie tracks together is something that creatively we really try to invest in, and something that we really try and make a staple in our work, and that is what's coming next and what will follow as well. Yeah.
Okay. Do you think that is the best way to reach your fan base?
In terms of releasing singles, or in terms of
in terms of release singles,
well, I think I would say at the minute the way that the kind of like the music culture is kind of is heading, it's certainly effective. I think these like the algorithms of streaming platforms and stuff like that certainly favor consistency over kind of like releasing en masse kind of thing. So I think it is effective, but I think you have to kind of take into account. Yeah,
I think so. It's very effective because you seems to be always in actually, no, everyone knows your music each month, no?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's like a 6-week rotation, you know, if you can keep on pushing that. But I think the other side of that is like it does have a like an expiry date in terms of like consistency of work, and in terms of consistency of the like the creative output. There's a lot of pressure to maintain that kind of that standard of release over and over again.
Do you feel? Do you think that is more pressure for you with a single than with a long play?
I think there is with the kind of like the single format as it is. I think there is ultimately going to be compromise on the quality of work, and it's just a kind of like it's like a ticking time bomb as to when that compromise and when that maybe sacrifices is made, which isn't something that as a band we're willing to do, I think. So whilst the single format works really well,
in an album, maybe in an album you can have created 3 or 4 words songs, no? But in a single, this song need to be with high impact in the people, no? It's as a shot, no? You only have a shot.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, albums can certainly have filler, but I think that there's like people are afraid to write bad songs, and I think that like writing bad songs, you know, anyone who writes music has written a fucking bad song. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is what gets released and what doesn't. And when you have these time constraints, you might feel pressured to release a bad song that hasn't had the time to become to develop and to become something really fruitful. Which I think is quite dangerous. But like, you shouldn't be afraid of writing bad songs. And with this single culture, it does make the pressure is really on. You know, every 6 weeks has to be a hit. Otherwise, that's your kind of like the validity of your career in jeopardy there, you know?
Okay. I agree up to a point with you. Yeah. Okay. So your cover EP caught my attention.
Oh, really?
Especially the song Helena by My Chemical Romance. Is it one of your biggest influences, My Chemical Romance?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, 3 Cheers. 3 Cheers. I don't know if it's obvious, but like, yeah, 3 Cheers. 3 Cheers for Sweet Revenge like changed my life, and I think a lot of people in our scene would say the same. But yeah, the theatrics and the drama that My Chemical Romance brought to their music, and like the way that they exacted their vision was like a pivotal time in my life when that album was like brought into it.
How many years do you have when My Chemical Romance released this song Helena? How many years do you have?
I must have been 3 Cheers. Did it come out 13 years ago?
Wow.
Was it that?
You are a child.
I was a kid. Yeah, I was a kid. I must have been like 13.
Yeah.
Like that.
Wow.
Yeah, and you know, I mean, I kind of like I discovered a lot of my music taste through my older sister, like who's 3 years older than me. So like, you know, she was going through her emo stage at like 16, and I was just like, my eyes were just open, you know, and she was just like spoon feeding me all of this like emo and like noughties like screamo and stuff like that, and I was just like lapping it up. I was so really, I mean, we have my sister to thank for this band. That's basically what I'm saying. But like Gerard Way and like his vision for for that band, and the size that they kind of exponentially grew to was, it really broke out of the scene into the mainstream in a way that not a lot of other kind of like emo bands have achieved, and that's like, yeah, it's an endearing thing, They had an idea and they made it work for them.
Okay, who do you consider your influences? My Chemical Romance, and who more?
Well, in terms of musical influences, there's the obvious choices. I mean, like My Chemical Romance. I was a big Paramore fan. I was a big Fall Out Boy fan. Like when I was a kid, Alexis on Fire. Like all of these bands.
Yeah.
Placebo was like a big one for me. That was
Placebo. Okay.
Yeah,
Placebo is a 90s band, no? It's an old band. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, but I got into them a little bit later than I did all of these other emo bands. They kind of like served as like a gateway to like earlier.
It's a great band, Placebo. It's a great band. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I like it.
Yeah, good. I'm glad. But yeah, big fans of Placebo. But I mean, a lot of our musical influence. I'm a big fan of literature and poetry, and a lot of our influence, specifically lyrically, comes from some of my like favorite authors. One of which that I got into by listening to a band called La Dispute.
Okay. Do you write your music?
Yeah. So
Okay.
So we kind of like collaboratively write the music. I write the lyrics for all of our work. So
do you like the atmosphere, dark atmosphere, no? In all your video seems to being a horror film, no?
Yeah.
Do you like it? This is your invention.
I do, yeah. I mean, we collaborated on the videos with a wonderful director called Luigi Sabona.
Yeah.
And me and him have been friends for a very long time, but yeah, I think there is a lot of darkness in these videos, and I think the consistency or the common thread between like all of the tracks is and with the band itself is about kind of like duality and the capacity for human emotion that everybody kind of that resides in everybody, and that includes the light and the dark, and not alienating yourself from either of those sides. It can be negligent and it can be harmful to yourself to deny those sides of you. You have to understand them. So yeah, the dark really does kind of pierce through in these videos and stuff like that. But yeah, that's not something that we're gonna like shy away from, I don't think. And a lot of the lyrical content is quite dark as well, but it's underpinned by this sense of hopefulness, I think. It takes a little bit of digging to get there, but it's there.
Do you feel that your fan base connect with this message, I
think so.
Yeah?
I think so. I would like to think so. There's a lot of... It's quite... a lot of the messages are quite exposed and quite vulnerable, and I think people are pretty receptive to that. I think people find that interesting. Not that I would ever speak for anybody, but the reception that we've got from the tracks that we put out certainly seem that way to me. And and they're very personal, and in that way personable to others. It's just a way to kind of like gain access to somebody else's mindset, I think, and I think people are responsive to that. So why you asking me why I look so thin? I know it's coming from somewhere warm, but there's panic in your handwriting. I can hear it when you speak.
My wife didn't hear this kind of music, rock music. She didn't like, and when hear your songs, she told me, "Wow, this is a big band. It's amazing."
Oh, really?
Yeah. She asked to me if you are a big band, a stars, no? And yeah, because it sounds very well. She told to me, yeah, it's really you have a high song, no? It's it seems to be with a high experience in the music. And how many years has the band?
So the band's released. The band released its first EP in 2018. We've been going for maybe like
3 years ago. 3 years ago. If you tell me that you are a band with 10 or 15 years experience, I really believe, because your song is amazing. I think so.
Thank you so much. Thanks so much. I think like you know, we've been not together, but like as individuals making music for a long time. And I think that, you know, it's all part of practicing the craft. You can do it for your entire life, you know. But that's really fantastic. Thank you so much. That means a huge amount. And I'm glad that your wife likes it as well. That's wicked.
I really think in this way, and the media, because I read all the British media rock, and it seems to be that all people is waiting your next steps. No, do you feel any pressure because all the media is focused in your music?
It's a little it's quite humbling that like we're getting a lot of attention at the minute, you know, but I don't think that we feel like, you know, I feel like in certain situations there's you know, when that kind of media attention is kind of brought to you, which is like there can almost be like a pressure to fail or to slip up, and I certainly don't feel that at the minute. It all feels incredibly supportive, and we worked really hard on what we have to bring to the table, and we're going to continue to work hard in quite a, we want to be as kind of driven as possible to make sure that like there is no other influence that affects the quality of our work other than ourselves. So I think in terms of like that external pressure, it's not something that we're concerned with. It just feels like people are rooting for us, and that's just a really fucking nice like thing.
This energy, it support you. It's not a pressure. It's a support. Maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we feel supported by the scene here.
Okay. But on the other hand, it seems that in Great Britain, all the media is looking for the new Beatles, the new My Chemical Romance, the new Oasis, the new Bright Me the Horizon, all the time. What current bands do you recommend? Because if I read Kerrang, I really think that all days there are a fantastic new bands. But
there are some wicked bands out at the minute. There's I mean, one of my favorites, which is very kind of like again, like kind of, it's like a resurgence of kind of like noughties, kind of like screamo. There's a band called Static Dress.
Static Dress, yeah,
they're really good. There's a band called, it's kind of like a
with a girl, no? The singer is a girl, maybe, or a guitarist, a girl.
No, not in Static Dress. Not in Static Dress.
Okay, sorry.
they're all quite androgynous, so easy mistake to make. But but no, they're really good. And Ollie, who is their singer,
Ollie.
He shoots all of their videos, and they have like a super consistent. He's created his own world, basically, like that is represented in these videos, which is amazing, and reflected in the music.
Okay,
as well.
I will pay attention. I will research when
fantastic.
I will finish the interview. I will research. Okay.
Yeah, do it. And there's a couple of others. I mean, there's a band called Out of Love, who are just they're really fucking good and lovely people, and they're just kind of like a positive punk band, like a punk rock band with like quite like upbeat but really hard, you know. It's just fucking great. There's a band called Other Half, who are like a really sick like post-hardcore band. I would kind of liken them to, do you know the band Single Mothers? Have you heard of them before?
No, I don't know.
Okay, all right. Well, they're like Single Mothers as well. They're from
Single
Canada,
mothers
but very good.
from Canada.
Yeah.
Okay.
But other
Okay.
half are wicked. There's a hardcore band called Plastics from Brighton as well.
Do you think that there is a good times for the rock music in your country?
Absolutely. Yeah. I think the attitudes towards music now, after like 2 years of being starved of music and live music, is really supportive. I think people are ready for it, and people are ready to kind of like consume and engage with bands in a way that maybe had kind of like waned a little bit beforehand, just because of the kind of saturation of it.
Are the shows so loud? Any show, it can be so loud in this moment. Do you feel that people want to go to the live shows, to support the musicians? Yeah, do you feel it?
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah? I mean, there was like a bunch of shows that were sold out on our most recent tour with Bukovi. Wow. There's like the Creeper tour in December is completely sold out. Like there's lots of sellout shows happening. People are ready to engage with live music again. And I just think it's wonderful. And there's like such a wealth of exemplary musicianship here in the UK. Sometimes it can be a bit overwhelming because there are so many good bands, you know. It's just like, which show do you go to? Like
away song, because in Spain the situation is very different.
Yeah.
On the one other hand, young people prefer another kind of music as reggaeton or Latin music, and then our government don't make support to the musicians. Culture in generally, arts, cinema, music, but rock music especially is no support. Is very unhappy because I think that is a good moment for recovery, no, for a new time in musicians. And when I talk with British musicians or Canadian musicians, I feel very happy with the situation in my country, you know.
Yeah.
But it's the times. Do you have any idea if you can to Spain in the next months?
We would all love to go to Spain.
Yeah.
We would love to come to Spain. Brexit has made things very difficult for us to get over to Europe.
Because the taxes, no?
It's the visas.
Visas, and I think that the taxes will be increased with the Brexit and the passports. No, I know because I am working in a airport, and the visa from UK is very very difficult to get.
it's ridiculous. We would love to try. Like we would love to come and tour Europe. Like it's been a dream of ours since the band started. But obviously it's been in the middle of this shit show of Brexit and separating from the European Union, and like it fucking sucks. Basically, it sucks. There is not a person in the music industry that lives in the UK that would not agree with me when I say it fucking sucks hard. Like,
So, do you consider that Brexit is a good thing for Britons or?
No, it's not.
It's not.
Nah, it's just categorically not a good thing. And I think a lot of the people that, I mean, we don't have to get too political about it, but I think a lot of the public were lied to and are now understanding that. And I think if the vote happened again, if there was a referendum or something like that, the outcome would be very different. Just because the way that the economy is being impacted by the results of Brexit, and some of the laws that are being passed at the minute are just...
Yeah, it will be a new elections tomorrow. Do you consider that Labourist or Conservative will win? Boris Johnson or Labourist? Will Brexit or not Brexit if the elections will be tomorrow?
I would hope with all of my being that Labour would win.
Labour.
I would hope with all my being that Boris Johnson would be out of power and that there would be no Brexit. I'm not sure how that would, whether or not that would be the case, but that certainly would be my preference. I think anyone.
Yeah,
get that fucking twat out of.
Politicians it's all the same. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but you know, I mean, it's the reality of the world we're living in at the minute, and it's just figuring out what the contingency plan for the worst thing that could have happened to the UK touring industry has happened. So like, what's the next step, really? So trying to navigate that is going to be difficult, but we would love to come to Spain. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
I hope your plans is all right, and I can watch it in your live show, no? Because
absolutely. And you can bring your wife.
Yeah. My wife. I promise you that you make a show in Barcelona. I will go with my wife.
Brilliant.
and my son.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. All right.